morning and happy Prime Day, folks. It's Monday, July 16th, 2018. You're watching the Daily Mix TV by Hill Story Marketing. Hi, my name is Sean Patrick Hillman. That's right, folks. Today marks the fourth annual Prime Day sales event for Amazon, where millions of products will be on sale. But we'll get into that in a second. In the meantime, this weekend, Kylie and I went to the rooftop pool at the Watson Hotel in Manhattan. We do it a few times each summer. You know, it's such an interesting place with a cast of characters that own it that I can't even begin to describe them. They're the nicest, most welcoming people, but you can't help but feel a bit of a throwback when you go there. But that isn't my point. I applied sunblock and still ended up getting pretty burned. Not a fun way to go through your weekend. Now, do yourself a favor. Make sure that the sunblock you're using hasn't expired and that it is in fact waterproof if you're in an ocean, a lake, or a pool. We have a lot of friends and family right now that are battling cancer. So when you think of the easiest and most avoidable form of it, that being skin, please do everything you can to prevent, like applying sunscreen when you're out and about. Now, I often forget to do this, and I end up paying the price for it, much like I am now. On to the news. It's Amazon's fourth annual sale day today, otherwise known as Prime Day, and retailers are looking at the e-commerce giant and offering up competing deals of their own. Walmart, Target, eBay, Kohl's, and Macy's will all have their own sales today, especially when you consider the fact that Prime Day sales could reach a potential of $3.4 billion. Basically, Prime Day has become the Black Friday of summer. So head over to Amazon now, though if you could do me a big favor, I would appreciate it. Amazon has a program called Amazon Smile. It donates money from your shopping to a charity of your choice. Please go to smile.amazon.com, log in, and register Rock and Rawhide as your charity of choice. Remember, Rock and Rawhide's mission is to help increase the level of adoptions of dogs and cats in animal shelters. It's a charity that my wife Kylie and I founded over 6 years ago. And I got to tell you, the amount of support and the amount of love that we've gotten from folks in the community is just incredible. So all you need to do is select Rock and Rawhide and shop away. It's literally that simple. A portion of your money will then be donated to help get more animals into loving and responsible homes. Now, normally we hold these kinds of stories for a Throwback Thursday or a Flashback Friday. But given the prominence of the story, I thought a little Memory Monday was in order. Do you remember this?
Imagine the perfect video store. It would have a great selection, right? Right. Over 10,000 videos. 3 evening rentals, so no rush, no hassle. Fast checkout. 24-hour quick drop return. Open late every night. Well, the perfect video store.
Welcome to Blockbuster Video.
Is popping up all over the country. There's one near you.
Blockbuster Video. Wow, what a difference.
It's the 4th of July.
Well, starting this week, the U.S. will have only one Blockbuster video store left. The last 2 Alaska-based Blockbusters in Fairbanks and Anchorage closed for business, and over the last 5 years, 13 Blockbusters have closed in Alaska, once considered the last holdout of the famed video chain. At its peak back in 2004, Blockbuster had 9,000 stores across the country. But competition with video-on-demand services led to bankruptcy in 2010. This is a good lesson in the need to constantly innovate and keep an eye on both real and potential competition. If Blockbuster had pivoted their business to an online delivery system, they would still be in business today. But by the time they even dialed down into testing such a system, it was way too late. Here's the lesson. Just because you're the top dog of your category and pulling in hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, it doesn't mean you can't be toppled. Do yourselves a favor. Rely heavily on research. At Hill Story Marketing, we use research to inform virtually everything that we do. And most corporations, especially in consumer products, it would do you a hell of a lot of good to make sure you're keeping that research consistent. If you'd like to learn more, send an email to thedailymixtv@hillstory.com and I'll help you out. Looks like Radio Shack is back. While the twice bankrupt electronics chain didn't completely disappear into the ether, It will soon be reborn with a more significant footprint across the country. The legendary 97-year-old chain has signed a deal with Hobbytown, USA to open, quote, express stores inside 50 of its partner stores, according to announcements from both companies on Friday. The express stores could be opened up in about 100 Hobbytown, 100 of the Hobbytown's 140 stores. If successful, they could expand to all hobby locations within the year. The first express stores will open next week. Now, remember, Radio Shack emerged from Chapter 11 reorganization in January with just 400 stores, most of them in rural locations. The Hobbytown deal will bring these stores to more suburban-oriented environments. Now, Hobbytown is purchasing the Radio Shack merchandise and offering it to its hobbyist customers who need the tools, wires, and other accessories that Radio Shack was so famous for. You know, as a matter of fact, I was just talking to two of our employees about Radio Shack and its history and all of those things, and there really isn't anywhere to go anymore to get wires or knickknacks that you need for little hobby projects at home. So you have to rely on Amazon, and it is Amazon Prime Day, so hopefully there are some parts on there that you can buy on sale. While the Hobbytown deal will bring Radio Shack to a much larger audience, it will still pale compared with the more than 7,000 stores the chain had at its peak in 1987. It operated more than 1,700 doors as recently as last year when it filed for Chapter 11. Now, last year also, in a last-ditch effort to keep its doors open prior to filing for Chapter 11, Radio Shack struck a partnership with Sprint, which paid it rent and commissions to run small Sprint locations inside Radio Shack stores. Sadly, it was too little, too late to save the electronics chain. You know, I honestly, at the end of the day, Radio Shack tried to pivot. They did it without any proper research or information. And then by the time they decided to finally pivot a couple of times, it was already way too late. So hopefully Radio Shack will live on in Hobbytown stores, and hopefully people will start to get back to actually doing electronics hobbying again. Lastly, on a personal note, you've heard me talk about the radio personality, friend, and Rock'em Rawhide board member, Elvis Duran, before. Well, I want to take a second to send he and his now fiancée, Alex Carr, a congratulations on their engagement. The two have been together for the last 7 or 8 years, with the question being popped by Alex on Friday night. Congratulations, you guys. We all love you and cannot wait for this new chapter in your lives to begin. I truly hope the journey for you is as pawsome as it has been for Kylie and I these last 16 years. I love you, Elvis. You are, without a doubt, one of the kindest people I have ever had the pleasure and the honor of calling my friend. And now with Alex, who is just as kind and just as loving, I can't wait to see what this next chapter holds for you guys. My name is Sean Patrick Hillman. I'm the CEO of Hill Story Marketing. I'm also the editor-in-chief of the Daily Mix TV. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you tomorrow on Tuesday.